Well, thank you all once again for tuning in. I'm going to call the county attorney's office and see what's happening with my appointment with Barbara La Wall. So, let's bring up the phone number here. We got a main number of 740-5600.
Pima County Attorney's Office.
Yes, Barbara La Wall's office, please.
One moment. Barbra La Wall's office. Carol speaking.
Carol?
Yes.
Hi, Carol. I'd like to make an appointment to see Barbara La Wall.
Who's calling?
This is Aaron Ray.
Aaron Ray?
Yes.
Okay. Let me get some information from you.
Alrighty.
What did you want to speak about?
Well, I have some information. I'm looking at the website right now that you guys have up, and it says that office represents you, and then it says the people, that's me, in the criminal justice system in Arizona, and the mission is to serve the public by protecting my personal rights along with the others. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, holding criminals accountable, and all that good stuff. Well, or bad stuff, however you look at it. And it says that the description of the duties there is to serve the public by carrying out our statutory duties. Well, I have some information of some statutory duties I needed to be addressed, and I seem to be meeting resistance by felony obstruction by a couple of her county attorney deputies, and she already has my number, and somebody was supposed to call me back and they never did. And this isn't the first or second even time I've tried to get an appointment, but for some reason I'm being ignored. And what the website says here is pretty much that she's got a major duty to protect and maintain our individual rights. The deputy attorneys I talked to down there, whoever kept trying to throw at me, well, we'll defend the sheriff civilly. Alright, well, what I'm looking at here is that you guys can still charge him criminally, and Barbara La Wall's oath of office mandates that she will protect and maintain our individual rights, and I kind of frown on people that let my victims' rights get violated in such a manner that it amounts to a kind of cover-up. So I'm going to need an appointment, and I'm going to need it soon.
What is it exactly you want her to do? What kind of right did you want her to protect?
Well, exactly and specifically, if I have to effectuate a citizen's arrest under ARS 133884, which is authorized by statute and felonies, and since I'm talking about 3 Class 5 felonies on several sheriffs probably, and other high-ranking officials, including the Lieutenant of Internal Affairs, then I kind of like my victims' rights maintained, and since if I make a citizen's arrest, I'm going to have to take TPD or one of her deputies to keep the peace. And it's also a constitutional right because the direct impact is the self-defense of myself and others. I have 3 letters in my possession that were sent out to 3 different people from Lieutenant Sacco in writing, and they threatened us all under the guise of with unlawful imprisonment, under the guise of harassment, if we keep trying to correct their willful misrepresentations. Now, willful misrepresentations is how they close their case, and that's also obstructing, let alone the threat to use physical force and unlawful imprisonment under the guise of harassment is a Class 5 felony. Now, this cannot be allowed to happen to other people. I have 3 letters, and one of which is to someone else in another internal affairs case, proving they standardize these letters. Now, I don't care about civil at this point and how it's a conflict of interest. What I care about is their oath of office, and it's a conflict of interest for her not to follow it and have the job that she has. So I'd like to meet with her. I want to figure out how she suggests I do this, and we're not going to go the Attorney General route at this moment. We're going to do it under 133884. That's an Arizona revised statute. Or we can do it under Rule 2.2b, I believe it is, in the Arizona Criminal Court Rules of Procedure, where it says I can make a direct filing in front of the magistrate. So the paperwork is going to come back to you guys, and you're going to have to charge the sheriffs anyway. And every time your people tell me they don't do that, well, I just saw on the news that a county attorney, I believe it was, just charged a sheriff for raping another sheriff and sodomizing her after she took him home from the bar drunk. That was on the mainstream news. So yes, you guys can charge the sheriffs criminally, and I'm tired of the stumbling blocks, and I really would just appreciate some help and compassion, and everything I see on this website, I would like to experience it.
So were you directed to go to the Attorney General's office? Is that what you're saying?
Well, standardly, that's what happens when you get a lot of evidence on high-ranking officials. They try to direct you that way and say that's your only route. But I'm saying that was wrong legal advice, because I still have an option of ARS 133884 or Rule 2.2b being a direct file. So if you guys are going to give legal advice, and that came from a couple of your county attorneys, then they need to be more thorough and say you have this option of the Attorney General, or you can do a constitutional citizen's arrest that's authorized and mandated by Arizona Revised Statute, ARS 1334, or you can do a Rule 2.2b. They wanted to pick the hardest way for me to do it, so I would go away. In fact, they escorted, while trying to give evidence to Barbra La Wall's secretary and make an appointment and give her testimony, which the obstructing statute talks about, they told me a story about criminal trespass. If I go to the sheriff's and that they want me to leave and ask me to leave, I'll be arrested for criminal trespass. Quickly after that, they told me if I didn't leave their office, quickly after that, they asked me to leave their office, which would have led to an unlawful imprisonment under the guise of criminal trespass by your county attorneys. They don't even understand the statute. They're doing it right there in your office. They sent me away while I was trying to give testimony and evidence, and two of your guys co-conspired to obstruct a criminal investigation right there in your building. I got the video and audio evidence. They escorted me down the elevator and kicked me out. I want something done.
Are you on a speakerphone?
Yes, I am. I'm at my office right now.
And is this being recorded?
Absolutely, for documentation of me trying to get an appointment, because I seem to not get anywhere, and so now I'm going to say, well, I've tried this many times, and what do I got to do? Go down there again? But I might get arrested.
And what were you told before when...
Well, I've been told different things. Ramon Valadez told me to bring it to Barbra La Wall. He is also a high-ranking official, and I brought it to Barbra La Wall, and I'm tired of being a ping-pong ball. It needs to be charged criminally against these guys. The sheriff need to quit covering up. It's probably already at this point a purge of oath of office for Dupnik, Barbra La Wall, and Ramon Valadez, because they're not maintaining their oath and protecting and maintaining my victims' rights.
You were also directed to go to the Attorney General's office. Did you go that route?
I called them up and emailed them, and they said they're not going to do anything because they're not going to get in the sheriff's investigation. However, there is a fraud unit that I can go to. It's for government corruption, but the truth is, I don't want to go that stumbling block. I want for everybody to simply do their job. What it says on your website right here, I want to feel like someone's treating me with compassion and respect and vigorously upholding my rights instead of sending armed thugs down. Basically, that's what I saw it is, to kick me out and obstruct the investigation and not let me give forth my evidence and testimony, which the statute mandates that they can't send me away or do that. They're committing felonies right there under your noses. Under Title 13, not civil, under Title 13. That's what this says up here, that you guys charge criminally. So I want them charged criminally. Maybe you guys can't do it, but if I make a citizen's arrest, you can. And somehow this is going to have to come to a conclusion. It cannot be allowed to happen to other people this way.
And what exactly is happening to you? I mean, that you need to arrest the sheriff's people.
Well, okay, it started out with errors on a report that an officer made. Well, we did an internal affairs complaint. The errors quickly went to update a report per internal affairs orders to update the report on this officer, Deputy Avizu. Well, in the updated report, there were lies. Okay, we called them on the lies. There was 2 witnesses. They never even interviewed the other witness. And because it was a tampered with public record, we can prove it with their own audio that we have now. We did an internal affairs complaint. So the tampered with public record was supposed to be dealt with, and then we got a letter saying we're trying to correct them and we're abusive and harassing. And accordingly, they're not going to accept any more written paperwork. And since they cited harassment and tried to get us to go away with a threat of unlawful imprisonment, it's obstructing a criminal investigation. They sent that letter to 3 people in 2 different internal affairs complaints, and it's gone all the way up the chain of command, and they're all covering up, and I want something done. I figure I've given you enough on this, so you guys have my phone number. I'm going to ask for a call back in the next couple of days to see where we can go with this. Is that okay with you?
It's fine. I don't have your phone number.
Okay, well, they have it there already. I talked to another gal, and I was supposed to get it was about a week ago plus now, so I'm supposed to get a call back. If you could just push this information in and have someone get back to me, I'd appreciate it. But I have to run right now, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.